Hello again, I'm Sir Jackos, and we are here again to play another game of Magic the Gathering. Now, there was this event that popped up whilst I was recording for the previous video, the opening again, which is the Extra Life event, which was a free event, where nothing major. Creatures get +0/+1 to their toughness as an emblem, and players start with 21 life to essentially give everything an extra life. It's a charity event, it's not going on for long, it's ending in 24 hours more or less, and it just so happens to be one of the perfect events for showing off this deck that I'm wanted to show off from Standard as opposed to Brawl, which is an Eldraine variant of the Butt Punchers deck. Since if we go back here a little, so obviously before rotation we had Arcades and High Alert, which both were able to allow defenders to attack when, as well as dealing damage with their toughness as opposed to their power, which makes for a pretty fun deck, pretty unique deck, and the best way to really make it work in that environment was to run out all of your cheap defenders, a couple of Tetsukos which made them all unblockable, and once you've got your early board down, you then drop on curve, hopefully, High Alert or Arcades, and you can then just start swinging in with all of these cheap, high toughness creatures that will deal a lot of damage. Now, obviously post-rotation, we no longer have Arcades, which means that we are left with High Alert, and we do have some other options, as shown there. There's Huatli. However, Huatli, whilst allowing creatures to assign combat damage with toughness rather than power, doesn't allow defenders to attack. So we're then completely reliant on High Alert for that purpose. Though being reliant on a card that we can have 4 of max in Standard isn't the best. So to play around that, instead we are going for a little bit of a different build to what you'd have done beforehand, where we're looking a lot more at the mid-range, where we have a couple of Azorius Night Arbiters, some Mistford River Turtles, which are both really big beaters. The Night Arbiters are unblockable, and the River Turtles can make something else unblockable, which if you get 2 of them down, make each other unblockable, which is brilliant. Then in the 1-mana slot, since counterspells are the bane of this deck's existence, if they counter your High Alert, then you've got to wait until you get another one. So the best way to get around that is to drop it turn 2. And the best way to drop it turn 2, Arboreal Grazer, Gilded Goose, both allow for that to happen quite consistently if you have one in hand, as well as both having relatively high toughness, and the 0/2 nature of it in this deck makes it work a lot better since it's also got the flying as well. So it's essentially a 2/2 flyer for 1, which is decent as it is. We then also have Fae of Wishes, which can fetch from our sideboard a High Alert or Huatli, or I've got Gauntlets of Light in there as well, which isn't as good. It only does it for 1 creature, but can be relevant sometimes, so I've got a few in there for contingency. And then we also have our wish board of decent answers to things, which could use some work. I will admit, I'm not the best at making sideboards, but Fae of Wishes is incredibly versatile in this deck, since not only do you get the benefit of Granted, but the body as a 4/4 flyer for 2 is really, really efficient. So then, well, what else we've got? We've got a Time Wipe, which is just a way to reset the board if everything goes wrong. Probably may end up in sideboard, or maybe even out completely, since I've got one there in sideboard already. But at the time I made the deck, I thought it was worth having one, since I'm playing into the late game a bit. If I can clear out the early game board, it works better for me. We've got Winged Words, since we have our 2 flyers here, and drawing 2 cards for 3 isn't too bad. The Gauntlets, the High Alert, and the Huatli. Huatli's life gain can also be a real life changer. It buys us a bit more time to get into the late game, Conclave Tribunal as a 2-of, so we have some removal in here, alongside a couple of Okos, because I have Oko. The deck has green-blue in it. Oko's really, really good for some strange reason. And the fact that outside of these two, normally, like the Fae of Wishes, the Mistford River Turtles, and the Night Arbiters are all able to reliably block the 3/3s, and it also gives us a means of turning the Grazer into a 3/3 if we've not got any of our other things, as well as generating some creatures in the worst case scenario where we've missed all of these, which can happen from time to time. So that's the deck, and I'm using the extra life sleeves just to show that additional support in this for this event. And so far the deck's gone pretty well in this event, since with the extra toughness, essentially all our creatures are stronger. So it's pretty decent for this event. And I think I've lost 2 of those games, so 6-2 is a pretty reasonable rate so far. So without further ado, let's get into the game. And now watch as we don't get any of our good draws. Just end up stuck with hands without having any high alerts, any Huatlis, and then everything just feels pretty bad. Suitable name for going against a butt puncher deck. Alright, so I can get Gauntlets of Light on Grazer turn 2. So I can get a decent punch for 5, I'm going first. I can then Windwards the turn after, hope I draw into some stuff. Got a Night Arbiter there. It's alright, I think I can keep this. Oh, 5/6, because of the emblem, of course. And you trade a tap land, so have a giant punch for 6. And now I've got the goose, so I can drop the goose next turn, and then draw 2 cards. That's still a 1/4, and that's a high alert. That's absolutely brilliant. Do I drop this for safety? I think I do. No, I don't. Let's just attack. Play it safe. Oh, yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's how the deck can play. Pretty unapologetically aggressive at times. Other times, not so much if we're lacking our enchantments. If we have to grab one from the sideboard, then we're playing a little bit slower, since we've got to get to turn 4 for the granted, then we have to play it, and then play out our creatures. This is looking like a repeat of the last game, barring the fact the opponent's going first, so not quite as good. We have the Once Upon a Time though, so unfortunately Once Upon a Time, I'm trying it out now. However, I didn't use it initially, because it can't hit Huatli, it can't hit the enchantments, and I had anticipated its spot, and yeah, that's not the best. Let's get this so we have a double wipe for our board wipe, and then I'm going to pay this in. Go for the aggressive start. Let's Growth Chamber Guardian. That's nice. So do have to shock in here for the Gauntlets, but I think that's fine. I think... So if I play out the goose... Passage for a forest. And then Conclave Tribunal, Yorvo. So I've got a... so if I swing in, they're presumably going to double block. Okay, I think this is risky. This is incredibly risky. But I think... Yeah. This is what I'm going to go for. I've got 2 mana. I can grab Power Defense. Now if they double block, I can kill it. Kill them both. Yep. Just a single block. Do I play out the Fae? Playing green. Yeah, I play out the Fae. You've got 2. Okay. And a Grazer will buy them some time. That does hurt. That. Okay, here's what I think I do. And then I keep both of those in hand. I can discard them to the Fae of Wishes next turn. Or, well, end of turn. And then I can use the Fae. Now watch as I top deck one of the things to make them all deal damage, and this will feel really bad. Yeah, that's fine. So... grab our... do we grab Huatli? Could use the life. I'm going to play this out. That can block. Nah, let's play it safe. Grab the high alert. Got no cards in hand here. And this is probably going to be game. Oh yeah, they do have food. They do get to buy a bit more time. They can make food, but it's not going to be enough. Especially since next time I can untap something. So they need a really good draw here. That's not going to do it. That's definitely not going to do it. Okay, if I put that on that, they can only block 2 things. They're going to take 5 regardless. However, I then can only untap what I put it on. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's game. It may be a bit unfair using this deck in this event, but at the same time it's not a good deck in standards. Not, at least not to this capacity. Like, I've had success with it, it's worked well, but it's a lot less. Well, I'm not getting the turn 2 high alert. Okay, I'm going to keep it. This is incredibly risky. However, I've got the scry. Yep, that's what I need. And then I only have the bird. Okay, so we've got green-white conclave. Going to stay on defense for the moment. I'll tribunal that next turn. Go on and attack. I hadn't had any red high alert. It's 5 mana. The one downside with this deck is I think it is probably a little bit light on creatures, and I may be able to get away with putting more of the high alerts and Huatlis and sideboard. But then you know, have another 2. Okay, yeah, there's a march. They're going wide. That's a turtle. That's what I like to see. Okay, so they may have some removal in hand. They may have their own conclave tribunal. I think I stay back for this turn, and then next turn I can start swinging. Okay, that's good. That's not so good, but I've got my second high alert. And I've also only got the 1 green at the moment. I'm just going to trap that for the moment. So just swing with this. They can't block it anyway. Just in case they draw their green, they can't immediately get rid of the high alert this way. And that buys me some time. Yeah, there we go. They could blow up the tribunal and get back Iron Root, but I think high alert is the right call. Now, watch as they read Huatli after the attack. I mean, yeah, they can take out Huatli that way. They do have their incremental life gain from these tokens, but that's exactly what I was expecting. Oh, there was a mist-footed turtle on top. Oh, that would have been perfect. Okay, that's pretty good. Here's the second one. I am going to keep the Fae of Wishes in hand, since I may need it. Okay, digging for another thing. Do they get another Brontodon? No, they get another Iron Root. Which is pretty big. I'll give them that. I could Conclave Tribunal that. So, what do I get here? You can destroy it. Time Wipe. Time Wipe's not... In fact, yeah, Time Wipe I think's fine in this situation. They get their one swing. I chump out the Warlord, I bounce the Turtle. Yeah, I think that's what I do. Or I could play the Fae. If I play the Fae, I can then bounce the Fae. 3, 4, 5. Nah. I'll play it out as a threat. After the Time Wipe. Hit attack with all. Yep, you get to create your soldier token there. So, pass to blockers, block the witness, block the Iron Root. Hope they've not got a mass buff. Oh yeah, I should have done this. I've done this the wrong way around. Ah well, we've got their mass buff, so let's see how much I'm taking. So that's 2, 3, 4, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's fine. Yeah, I did screw up a block there. I do, however, have effectively 6 additional life. Yeah, Raise the Alarm's not going to do too much at this point. There we go, they packed it up. Oh, and that got my daily done. Nice. So, I think I'm going to do one more. It's definitely a fun deck. I really enjoy this mechanic. When I started playing Standard properly for the first time, this is so close. Opponent's going first. I need blue. If I get blue, this works brilliantly. If not, I've got Fabled Passage, but it'll be a turn later. That does it. Boom. Just what I need. Scry. Don't think we need a second effect like that just yet. Ah, good old mentor. No blocks. Oh, I could have blocked it. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. Boss is a bit of a problem. Okay, so I think drop the passage, get a second white, drop the grazer. Not yet. Do I attack first? I can pump that next turn. Potentially. So now I keep the grazer back, drop the turtle. Since I drew that land, I can still get value from the grazer next turn. We'll hold back for a turn. Grazer's got reach, so I can kill the hawk this turn, but if it gets too many more mentor triggers, it can't. The other nice thing with these is they get around Justice Strike. So that tokens got to attack. They're attacking with everything. You get one mentor, well, two mentors onto the goblins. Now do I take out Challenger or do I take out War Boss? If they have Disenchant main board, I'm going to feel terrible. I think I take out this first, since this is making them go wide. They can now Lava Coil. True Fire Captain. Oof. Would be a shame if True Fire Captain was actually an elk.
I will invert the world to watch kings grovel and work. Gaze into my face and put on your true shape.
No attacks. Stabilizing is important here. Yeah. Everything's out of mentor range. They can't attack through. I can start creating food.
It's not poisoned. Trust me.
Let's see how they handle this. Because they can block the turtle with a lot of their things. Nope. Nothing. Right. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to drop this, since if I get a land next time I can untap two things. I can untap the river turtle and block something by surprise. I can eat a food to gain some life. Go on, hit attack all. good. Holding back one blocker. Holding back no blockers. You missed your chance to pump that if you wanted to... Okay. Untap you. I won't be surprised if they concede at this point. So they can pump the challenger. So past the blockers. Those are the two big threats. I take 6 at the moment. If they have a pump, I can gain another 3. So I take... Yeah, I think that's all fine. And yeah, sacrifice the dude, gain the life. And I swing back for lethal. Whew. Yeah, Oko's a good card, even in jank decks. And that's kind of what makes it a good card, is it's good in any deck that can run it. Plumbing a Rankle, that's nice. I think that puts me at 4. At 3. Not quite a playset yet. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. As I said, I'm really fond of the archetype of butt punchers. I made a standard deck when Assault Formation was made, which was around about the time I was getting into standard. Then I made one in modern using what's his name? The Tree Folk, Doran the Siege Tower. And Arcades came around, and I made a commander deck with him. I really like the archetype, so I felt that we've got enough cards that are able to give the effect in standard at the moment to make it work. We have enough creatures to, like, I think Fae of Wishes is really what allows me to make the most of it, since otherwise because those 4 creatures can essentially double as fetching 1 without having to go through the deck. So, but I hope you enjoyed it. I may give it a whirl in regular standard because, yeah, the performance there is massively skewed in my favour because of the extra 1 toughness given to everything. But in standard, it doesn't perform anywhere near as well as that. Now, I may do a video on the festival for Standard Artisan. I am interested in doing it, but I can't make any promises with that since it's only lasting, I think, 3 days or so, and with work I may not have enough time to make a deck that I'm actually happy with, but we'll see. Anyways, with all that in mind, I hope you enjoyed. Take care, and I'll see you next time.